I designed and 3D printed this wireless, retro-looking mouse. Let me show you what was my design process for a newbie in 3D design and why it took me 5 weeks and a bucket full of prototypes to finish it. Hello and welcome back to another video on this channel. Some weeks ago I've decided to start a new project. I had this Logitech wireless mouse laying around and I came up with an idea to design my own 3D printable mouse based on this mouse components. There were a few key things I wanted in this project. First one was that the mouse have to have some kind of retro look. Second, that the mouse can only utilize the components from the donor mouse, so no extra screws, no extra anything like that needed. And the third was that in this design, everything else except for the electronics from the donor mouse have to be 3D printable. The project ended up being way more challenging than I initially thought, but I managed to create this thing. This is the V1 of the retro mouse that I've designed. It has this satisfying click. And I based the design on the Commodore 64 mouse. In this video I'll show you the whole process of how I designed it and what kind of issues and challenges I had to face as someone who is not experienced in 3D design. I've started the project by figuring out what the size of the mouse should be based on the components from the original mouse. Then I had to figure out what the shape of mouse should be. I didn't want it to be the exact copy of the Commodore mouse, just something as an inspiration. The mouse will of course not be ergonomic, but at least I wanted it to be usable. So I came up with some ideas and printed the first prototypes to see how the mouse looks and how it lays in hand. I've designed this in Fusion by creating a sketch of a side profile and then extruding it to the size I wanted the mouse to be. I tilted the side faces of the body to create the shape that I wanted. To hollow the mouse, I duplicated the body, made it a bit smaller and then used it as a cutting shape with the combine tool. This might not be the best way to do it, but this was the only idea I had at the time. I used the same method to create the bottom part. This shape ended up being a bit too low, so I had to redesign it. I actually went through a couple of redesigns and this is the shape I ended up with. This shape ended up being not only easier to print than the others, but also more comfortable to use. For the base, once I figured out what the thickness should be, which ended being this type of thickness, I had to figure out how to place all the components inside. Let me quickly open this mouse and show you what's inside. It's held only by one screw, the same screw that comes with the original mouse, and this is how it looks inside. So what I had to figure out is how to hold this PCB inside of the mouse. I wanted it to be similar to original mouse, some kind of snap that you can just push the PCB into and it will hold it, like this one here that you can see. So this is what I started with, these few designs that had the snaps in place, but unfortunately the way I designed them, they were too brittle and snapped almost immediately. So I went through a couple of designs again to end up being on a bit stronger snap like this one. While figuring out how I'm gonna place the PCB inside, I also had to cut out the hole for the laser. That one wasn't that hard. All I did is to measure with my calipers where that was on the original board and where I have to cut the hole. Other thing that I had struggles with as well was to how to place the battery inside. So this mouse is powered by a normal AA battery, which is I guess not really futuristic because all of the new ones have lithium batteries, but at least this one can hold power for like 12 months before you have to change the battery. So I've started by designing these really thin structures to hold the positive and negative metal part of the battery, but this ended up being too brittle as well. I changed it and added a bit more structure, and also I added this kind of bed where the battery would lie in. Now for the buttons, I designed them to be rectangular, similar to what the original Commodore mouse was. They are a bit bigger here though, but I liked how they look like. I just made a sketch of a rectangular in Fusion, extruded that to certain height and then rounded up the edges. Next I created this plate at the bottom so that the buttons would not fall out of the mouse. For how the buttons would press the buttons of the mouse, that's another story. Initially I came up with an idea to have some kind of springy system on one part of the button that would kind of cushion the click, and then the other one that would just click the button. but there were some issues with it. Not only I couldn't figure out what the correct height of these should be, but then I've noticed that when I just get rid of the springy parts, the click is better. It's more satisfying even. So I ended up dropping the other part here, the other slot completely, and just leave the full part to click the actual buttons. How these are inserted is I've designed these parts, these button extenders, to have these snaps in, and the buttons inside, they have space for these snaps to go to. So when you push them in, they just snap in nicely. There was, however, another issue. As you can see on the PCB, the buttons are not aligned the same way. One is nicely aligned vertically to the edge of the board, but the other one is kind of slanted. This gave me a couple of issues with the pushers for the buttons, but once I figured it out, I created these. So that's why these two are different, because of the buttons. Once I had that figured out, and now both buttons click nicely, I've noticed some other issue. When you pushed on the mouse in the middle, once it's closed, it was clicking the buttons on its own. So there's some kind of movement going on in the middle, some kind of flexibility. So I created this column in the top part and this thing in the bottom to join both parts together and to have them connected with a screw. Next thing I had to figure out is how to connect these parts together, because the middle part alone wasn't enough to nivellate these gaps that I have here between top and bottom part. So I had some ideas here. I came up with these snaps on the bottom part and these holes on the top part for them to just snap into nicely. But this was another story. So not only they would break whenever you opened it up incorrectly, but also they were not really snapping that nicely. And for this design, before I changed it to another, there was just too little space with the angles that I created here to have this working properly. So what I came up with was creating more edge, basically rising it up from the edge by adding this wall around. And then on the bottom part, I just extruded a little bit in the middle so that when you close it, you don't see any gaps. Another thing that I changed was the overall shape of the mouse. I basically evened all the angles on the front and the back and the sides and end up with this design. This shape also saved me some issues with printing, because when I printed the top part with the suggested orientation by the bumble up slicer, I didn't really get that good results. The layer lines were clearly visible, and around the cutouts for the buttons the texture was not really nice. So I tried to print in different orientations. I tried printed it vertically, but the print was showing these layer lines which I didn't like. And I also tried to print it upside down. But unfortunately that also didn't work nicely. Especially here in the front, I got this really weird finish which I didn't like. I had this really nice finish inside, but the most important finish, so how the mouse looks like and how you touch it, was not something I was satisfied with. So in the end, I started printing it like this, using a lot of supports. And the top surface was looking really nice, but the only other thing that I still had a problem with was the closing mechanism. So these snaps, I went through a couple of iterations of those. I went through a couple of issues with those, and I finally ended up using just 4 snaps, 2 in the front and 2 in the bottom, but completely different than what it was before. So just these small grooves here, front and the back, and just these small holes or indents on the top part, and now they snap in really nicely. And that's it. So that solves the issue with the closing. Not only you don't see the gaps, the mouse looks better, and I generally really like it. So once I had this done, the mouse was basically functioning, but there were a few things, additional things that I didn't have to include, but I wanted to for better usability of the mouse. So one was the dongle. In the original mouse, the dongle hides underneath this latch. So if you travel or if you don't use the mouse, you can just hide it there and take it with you. So I wanted something like this to be implemented, and I came up with this design, where in the bottom you have this insert where you can insert the dongle and it will not fall off. It took me a few tries to have this properly done. So my issues were that either the dongle was not tight enough, or it was too tight and there was too little space to get it out. But luckily, to test those, I didn't have to print every time the bottom part, because what I did is I just cut from the bottom part the only part that I wanted to print and printed that. So probably more experienced people in the 3D design already know this, but for me it was a cool tip to use, where you just need to print what you want to test and not the whole model. Once I figured that out, there was one other thing, which was the power on, power off button. So switch on, switch off button, which in the original mouse is located underneath. So I wanted to do something similar. What I did is that I cut out an insert in the bottom of the mouse and then had a couple of tries, couple of issues to figure out how the sliding button would fit into an existing button on the PCB. This took a couple of tries, but now it works, so I'm really happy about it. So I had the mouse ready, so I figured out I'm gonna test it at work. I took it to work and I started using it, and I've noticed a few things about it. One thing is it's missing a scroll wheel. This was a conscious decision in this design. I wanted it to be retro looking, and retro mice didn't have the scroll wheel, but I'm really missing it. So in the new version, the V2 that I will be working on, I will definitely add it. But also I've noticed another thing. If you did this, the battery would just jump out of the slot and the mouse would no longer be working. So I added this block on the top part to when you close the mouse, it will push the battery in, and then you can just, it will push the battery in, and then you just, whatever you do, the battery will not fall off. So since I had this design finished, I figured why not buy another mouse and just build the same mouse from the same components. So I did just that. It arrived just the day before I'm recording this. I opened it and apparently they redesigned completely the PCB inside, and it no longer fits my design. It is somewhat better because the buttons now, they are now aligned the same way. This gave me a lot of issues when designing these pushers that are underneath the buttons. It was a lot of tweaking of how high the pusher on the button should be to have the correct click. If it was too long, when I closed the mouse, the button would be permanently click. It was just terrible, at least for me. But I finally done it, and then when I buy a new mouse, which I thought because it's the same M185, it's gonna be the same inside, but no. Apparently they redesigned it completely. Not only the laser is different, the buttons are relocated into another places, so they're more spread. So unfortunately this design will work only with this version of the model. I will share my design on MakerWorld. If you want to print this mouse, you can, but remember that it will only fit this version of Logitech M185 mouse. So what's for V2? For sure I'm gonna add the scroll wheel, because I really miss it when using this mouse. I will try to modify it so it fits the newest components, the newest version of that mouse. Also, maybe for V2A, I will try to utilize the Bamboo Lab components that they have. And then, but that's a big maybe create a latch to access the battery better. But overall, I really like how the mouse came out. I hope you liked the design as well. Thanks for watching this video. This was my first big project on this channel. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions what I should add in the V2 of this mouse, please leave them in the comments. That's it for me for now. Thanks for watching and see you next time.